We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Whoa. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Because I like to do it wrong and call it the national anthem. Okay. Superintendent Freeman.
Yeah, super excited to add to the agenda our high school, middle school representative, Noah Eichenbusch. So if you'll add him under student leadership. Other than that, there are no other changes or additions to the agenda.
Okay. So we'll have Noah come up first then.
Is that working? Oh, yep. Okay. Hi, I'm Noah Eichenbusch. I'm a senior here at the high school, and I was asked to come up and talk to you guys about what's been going on. For FFA news, Addison Zerback competed at the Oregon State Fair, taking champion market lamb and champion FFA breeding ewe and champion senior showman. Glide students had many successes at the Douglas County Fair, with multiple ribbons being brought home. Last weekend, the Glide's FFA's officer team attended the 2024 FFA Leadership Camp, where they got to learn about officer roles and leadership from the Oregon State FFA officers. Students of the FFA will soon be traveling to Indianapolis to attend the National FFA Convention to attend workshops and improve their leadership skills. And for some events, Homecoming Week starts on October 7th and will go through the 12th. And on Monday, the 7th of October, at 7 p.m., we will have He-Man volleyball game.
Awesome.
Wednesday, the 9th at 7 o'clock also, we'll have the Powder Puff football game over in the field. Friday, October 11th at 7 p.m. is the homecoming football game. And Saturday, the 12th is the homecoming dance at 8 p.m., I believe. For athletics, Glide Athletics is off to an amazing start this fall, with everyone outfitted in their blue and gold Wildcat gear, including the middle school. There are a total of 180 athletes out for sports this season, including 11 sixth graders. Glide Middle School volleyball is 3 teams strong, and they're having a great season. The Glide Middle School football team is small but mighty and won all 3 games in their Little Fur League Jamboree. Glide Middle School cross country has grown in numbers. They have a really big team this year and has some phenomenal runners to watch out for this season and years to come.
That's awesome.
Cross country is also growing in the high school as well and is hosting 2 home meets this season, one at Whistler's Park on the 26th of September, and our this runs for Maynard, our memorial run on the 2nd of October. We are very excited to welcome back cheerleading this year, and the squad has been busy showing their spirit on campus and at games. They have posters everywhere on everybody's lockers. There's posters all over the school, making sure they're spreading pride. The high school boys soccer and the girls soccer teams have started the season strong, and both teams have home games almost every single week. The high school volleyball JV and varsity teams have been exciting to watch so far this season. Both the JV and the varsity high school football teams have had some really high scoring games. And the first home varsity football game is against Bonanza on September 27th. So that's coming up pretty quick. Both Glide Middle School and Glide High School schedules are available on the district website calendar. We would love to see you at the games. And around school, we just had senior parking spot and rock painting on Friday, the September the 13th. where the seniors and their families were invited to paint their parking spot. I can attest it was a lot of fun. We all had fun out there. We were able to put our handprint on the rock in front of the athletic entrance. And I'd like to give a thanks to Mrs. Groth for getting paint and supplies and so many parents who provided drinks and snacks. It was warm that day and we all got hungry and we had snacks and drinks to keep us not hangry and very not thirsty. For fire science, Mrs. Brown of the Paw Patch is coordinating a field burn using traditional native practices at the Glide Elementary School Nature Trail to help propagate blue camas. Fire Science has been working with Wolf Creek Job Corps to dig the fire lines last week. Thursday, Fire Science and Wolf Creek will work with DFPA to inspect the burn area and be advised on improving the line and burn area, as well as speaking to the students about the science of prescribed burns, how fire moves, etc. On October 3rd at 5:30 p.m., Jesse Jackson from the Cow Creek Band of the Umpqua Tribe will come do an educational presentation on native practices of burning to propagate camas as a food source for native people in the past. The whole school district and community are invited. It is hoped that we can burn the field this October. Glide Fire and Wolf Creek Job Corps have committed to helping with the burn, and Jesse Jackson will return to do a blessing on the fire area and start the fire using traditional bow and arrow. In the spring, Mrs. Brown will harvest the camas bulb with the 5th grade Glide students to roast and taste the bulbs as Native people did in the past and bring the project in full circle. We're extremely proud of our hard work and the coordination of all of our community partners. This project is the perfect culmination of all the varied culture and career experiences we provide for our students in the Glide School District. And for the Outdoor Club, we're going to be summiting Mount Bailey on Saturday, September 28th. There are already quite a few students who have signed up for this trip, including me. I'm excited. After the hike, we will stop at South Shore Pizza for dinner before returning to campus. And that is all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Wonderful news. Okay, up next, we have Nolan Goodman to give your report. What's going on at the elementary school?
Well, what just happened is we had our first ever school-wide house sorting assembly. So we just got this wheel, thanks to the JBC for purchasing our wheel, and thank you to Glide High cheerleaders for getting our assembly started. So the new kids or students spun the wheel, then they went up the slide, and they went down the slide, and then the wheel chose what house they were put in. So it was either chosen off of your weakness or one of your strengths. Like Nukamori's kindness, so if you're really good at kindness. Or River is a house of dreamers, so we have big dreams. Anraka is our monthly character trait, which is unity. Amistad, friendship, Solivare, uplifting, Protos. I know it's a polar bear. Protos is success. That's all. And then we have an amazing video made by Miss Weber. I don't know if most people know, but September 17th, so yesterday, I think, was Constitution Day. I know for 6th grade, we did a parfait of red, white, and blue. So we had yogurt, strawberries, and blueberries. And then we did, we learned the 10 amendments for the Bill of Rights. And we did a paper on if they were committing a violation on the amendments and which amendment it was. And then tomorrow, or September 19th, the JBC Color Run. Registration begins at 5. The walk, or run if you want to, is from 6 to 7. And it's not too late to make a pledge or donation. October 3rd and 5th is our Atlanta Ron Clark Academy, which we did last year, and we are doing again, and we are bringing 14 kids, including myself, which are student leaders, and we head to Ron Clark Academy for their annual Student Leadership Conference. And at that conference, we learn everything about leadership and what to do, and learn how to make our school better. Thank you for your time.
That is great. Thank you for your time. Okay, so I believe we're moving on to entertaining, approving the consent agenda. So I will entertain a motion for that.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion? Any discussion on that?
I just wanted to add, I was really excited to see the number of applications for funding, and I would love to know more about the fishing club. Yeah, I have a couple of minds of some volunteers that might be able to help out. And I would love to know more about what that's going to entail.
Oh, that would be great. Okay, so any other discussion?
Well, I'm not sure if everybody knows how this consent agenda works. I'd like to kind of clarify it
Sure.
for everybody that it's some of the, it kind of streamlines the meeting, and on the non-controversial items, just put them all together and approve them. So, but also there's, you know, I don't know if the audience knows what we are approving or not. But there's a higher recommendation, the minutes from the previous meetings, and the requests for fundraisers and grants and stuff like that. So just to clarify to everybody what the consent agenda actually is. I'm not sure if we've ever done that.
I don't know if we have either, and I don't think it's listed publicly. I think it says consent agenda, but it doesn't list like all the things that you said, so I do appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so all those in favor of approving consent agenda?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And I think we're on to public participation. We have one yellow card here from Abby. So I'm thinking we probably don't have to put a 3-minute rule on you, and you know the deal, and to say your name and
I think you do need to put a try.
Maybe, we'll
Doesn't my
see.
reputation precede me? Sorry to break your record of no public participation. Abby Malik, and I'm in Dixonville. What else did you need?
that's it. Oh, yeah.
Start the
you better
timer. Tell me when. No. I just wanted to come up and say that I'm feeling very optimistic about the school year, and I'm feeling for the first time in a long time very positive. I feel like there's been a ton of great communication coming out with Parent Square. I know what the kids I've got kids on 4 sports teams between the middle school and high school. Not 4 kids on a same team, 4 sports teams. So in middle school, anyways, it's all over the place. So between ag, FFA, just the school goings on and the sports, the Parent Square has been a great thing. I love giving the kids the opportunity to hang themselves by opening up the campus for juniors and seniors to go out to lunch, because again, we've got to start giving these kids the opportunity to be grown-up-ish. And I'm very excited about all the things that our ag teacher is working on for our ag students. Kids seem excited about ag. They seem excited about their new football coaches for the high school. The kids seem to have a great rapport with coaches. I love what they're doing with our kids, with the community. I feel like we're kind of all playing on the same team all of a sudden. And I just wanted to note my observation of that and appreciation for where we're at, because I feel like it's been a long, hard time coming.
Thank you so much. That is awesome feedback. Okay, Mr. Freeman, I think you were going to tell us about a
Yeah,
safety
so
presentation.
at the last meeting, you guys had inquired about what our safety plan and protocols are. And so our safety team got together and we put together an informational for you. But before we get going on that, I want to highlight, you can sit in. I want to highlight our 3 people that we have as our point people for safety in this district, because it's super unique. So we have 3 people that have extensive law enforcement background. I know we're a small school district, but I will tell you that the level of expertise that we have in this district, I would put up against any large school district in the state of Oregon. I'm going to introduce Brent to you here in a minute. Brent, I've designated as our point person, and Brent brings his lens and his experience to events that happen. He's going to share some of those with you. The beauty of Brent is he also is in charge of his maintenance people who are out and about in our district. So if something unique is happening, he knows about it immediately. At the high school, our recent hire, Ed Villarreal, comes with another extensive background in law enforcement. And I think one of the examples we're going to use today, Ed noticed something weird happening on campus, and immediately that was being addressed. And then, of course, we have Brian Odell down at the elementary school. So with Ed at the high school, Brian at the elementary school, and our point person, Brent, roving the district, I feel very strongly that our staff and our students are very secure. And if something happens on campus, it's going to be dealt with immediately, much quicker than if we call law enforcement and wait for the response time to get here. So I hope as a board and as a community, you guys can appreciate the quality of people that we have that are looking out for our district. And I think you're going to hear and hear by some examples the quality of people we have. So with that, I want to introduce Brent as our point person for our safety in our district. Brent cleans up very well, by the way.
Did I, by chance, leave my speech somewhere in your office because you just
Did I just do it for you?
You shot about half of it down, but I will try to pick up the pieces and make this happen. Anyways, thank you, sir.
That's what a good leader does.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So it was a few years ago when we weren't represented by law enforcement. I started digging around and contacted PACE and pretty much pulled out every string I could pull to get them to accept law enforcement credentials. One of the stipulations they put on me at the time was that I needed to continue law enforcement as a career. So I'm a reserve at Myrtle Creek as well to get that. So the benefits of that for me are quarterly ranges. I get defensive tactics every 3 months. We get all the updates and all the legal, the new laws that are passed, any kind of search and seizure, which changes, seems like weekly. I'm getting an email about all the fun things that they're doing as well. Thank you, Supreme Court. Since the beginning of this year, as Mr. Freeman was talking about, we've encountered a lot of suspicious people walking around. Some of those have been picked up by my maintenance guys, where the see something, say something adage comes in. If it makes their hair tingle, I want to know about it and know where it's going on. One of them just happened to be walking from the trailer park right down the road, and I contacted Ed and said, hey, he's right between us. I'll get there as quick as I can. By the time I picked him up, he was only at Gliding Rivers, and Ed and I were standing out in front of the high school as a unified force. Ed will be up here in a minute to talk about the I Love You Guys program. Just him seeing us respond so quickly and be in front of the school, he decided that he wanted to go by the school instead of walking onto our campus. Ed also picked up a gentleman flying a drone around our school and contacted him across the street, and I'll let him fill you in on his portion of that. But ultimately, we ended up with the gentleman being cited for trespassing because he decided it was going to be a good thing to go down to the elementary and do it down there as well, after I'd already told him to stay off of our campuses. So when I first came in contact with him, I contacted dispatch, obviously, and got a deputy coming this way, and I was really happy that he was leaving our campus, only to circle Glide and then end up right in front of the elementary. So at this time, I think it would be good to bring Ed up and let him talk about the I Love You Guys. And then we'll probably have plenty of questions, I'm sure, about what the training is in front of you. That is pretty much everything. We have a certificate or training time, class time in. There's also defensive tactics listed on there with multiple things like de-escalation, which, as anybody knows, the first weapon you have is how you address somebody. We got to figure out who they are and why they're on the campus. Ed and I are both armed as well, and try to keep that as concealed as possible, because we don't want to cause a stir ourselves, but we want to have the capability to protect anybody on the campus at any point. Mr. Villarreal.
Good evening, Board. My name is Ed Villarreal, and it's a pleasure to come speak to everybody about I Love You Guys. It's basically our 5 protocols that we use here at Glide. I Love You Guys, their emergency protocols is definitely the gold standard in our country for how we respond to emergencies. Over 50,000 schools and organizations use these protocols currently. We are mandated by Oregon law to at least do 1 evacuation drill a month, which we do, and also 2 lockdown drills and 2 earthquake drills as well. We're also going to add some secure drills as well, because, and I'll go over what a secure is, and adding that, I think our school, if there's something going on outside of the highway, more than likely our school would go into a secure rather than a lockdown. So the first protocol that we have is called the hold protocol. And we've done this training here at the high school and middle school already. And the hold is basically for our students to remain inside the classroom. That means that if there's probably a medical emergency that has occurred and we need paramedics, they bring big gurneys in and for privacy of the patient. That would be primary for a hold. It would be business as usual inside the classroom. The next protocol is called a secure. Before, they used to call it a lockout and a lock-in, and people would get confused, is that a lockdown? And when we had that swatting incident about 1.5 years ago, everyone was confused. I Love You Guys had gone previously to secure. And so secure means that there's a threat outside the buildings. Could be a possible threat. It could be law enforcement doing a felony car stop out on the highway. And that person could run and flee and take off. So in the best interest of safety is to secure the outside perimeter of our schools. And so it would still be business as usual inside the classrooms, and but we would lock the outside or perimeter of our schools. The next one is lockdown. That is when the threat is inside the building, and that would be something as an active aggressor. This is where we'll teach our students and our staff to lock down, lock their doors, locks, lights, and out of sight is what we teach. The next one is evacuation, and this is when we evacuate of the building. This is in case there's a fire. It could be after an earthquake and after the shaking has stopped, and we need to get people out, and then we go ahead and evacuate to a safe place. So we do this once a month, and I did get to see it with Principal Dwight, and it went very efficiently in just a couple weeks ago. And the last one is shelter. So this is shelter in place. This can be for a hazard for a tornado, a hazmat situation, or like an earthquake. And we use the drop, cover, and hold on. And so we teach our staff and our students to do that, drop, cover, and hold on. And then when it's safe to do so, then we'll say on the PA or announcement that it's safe to come out. Those are the 5 protocols that we are using. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. That's correct. That's a good question. After the swatting call, we did get together with our local law enforcement and made sure that we're all speaking the same language. And we developed this for the dispatchers, so they have. And so, our sheriff definitely knows that we're using this.
Is there, how do I want to word this? Like you were talking about the same language. So in my world, I deal with hazmat. So I'm ICS trained, Incident Command System. And what you're describing seems similar to me about that. So is there classes or some kind of education for all these folks that would likely be involved with this for expanding on or training in that language for this?
Right. We have that in our EOP, and we're working on creating a bigger one where I think that might turn into what we call a reunification. And I was able to go to the ICS up to like 700 and 800, where we did incident command and did logistics and all that stuff. And our portion in that would be for the reunification of our students to our parents. And we would let, the fire and the police handle any of the obviously criminal or hazmat part. And our part would be the reunification of the student to the parent.
And just to share, maybe it's not on point, but ICS 100, 200, 700, and 800 are free. You can go online to FEMA, and you have to set up an account, so to speak, but it's free. 300 and 400 are both one-week classes and very intense and tie everything else together. So,
Yeah, I was lucky enough to attend that a couple years ago in Corvallis, and yeah, it was intense.
but learning that it's a language and how a process on how, and ICS is kind of cool because it can be as little as 2 people and it can grow to handle 2,000 people.
Right, and exponentially, we did case studies where they would go for months. And, towns are trying to recruit to get back to, where they're trying to just, smatter out what's going on.
And my point is, if this is being set up like that, to me, that's really super cool. I mean, that's really organized, and it will get you through an event pretty very organized, and if you follow it,
Right.
and nobody goes rogue, this can really put things together and keep everything way calmer than total chaos. So this is a great plan. Thank you for
Mr.
sharing.
Shaw. No problem, Mr. Shaw.
And so the students have like access to this, they're familiar with the language too, so they know what's going on when stuff goes down, or what's that look like?
We have, some of these are in our classrooms, in our office. It is a perishable skill, and so if you don't practice it, you do lose it. And that's one thing I learned in law enforcement, is that if you don't practice it,
Like
then
math.
you're gonna lose it. And so, practice makes progress, it doesn't make perfect.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I hate to say it, during the drills, you want to see the mistakes, because that's how you learn.
Absolutely.
And so, talking to Principal Dwight, as, he understands we need a drill, and, he says, hey, you take care of that part, and we're going to do it, and we're going to go ahead and progress through it and get better.
Is there any considerations of doing like a tabletop exercise on an, how do I want, what's it called? In-service day. And hopefully I'm not getting in trouble with anybody. It's a thought. I have lots of ideas. Not all of them are good ideas. I understand that. I would do
That
something like
sounds
that,
like what he was
absolutely,
volunteering for.
in half a heartbeat. Well, so there's different levels in this, right? I mean, we've got our security, safety people, and this should be almost like the back of their hand. They're gonna be leaders in this. And then we've got the people that really have to facilitate this. The team is you and your staff. And honestly, the kids they're just kind of innocent bystanders. It helps for them to have a level of knowledge. Please jump in and tell me to shut up.
No, it's okay.
If I'm wrong. But what I'm saying with in-service, then you have all your staff together in one spot, and so you can have a higher level interaction than, say, in a classroom with the kids. Because the kids are gonna go, like, what? What are they talking about? When's this guy gonna shut up? When can I get back to my crayons or read my book? I wanna do my math now.
Said
is
no
boring.
kid ever.
So, yeah. So that's what I mean by a, sure. But, well, and, yeah, and that you want to involve, at least at some time in some level, you want to involve everybody, because the kids need to know where to go if we're moving them and stuff. But a tabletop exercise is really at the table, and you go through a scenario, and there are players to play these out. And so it's a drill, but you have to bring your imagination to help. And it can last as long as you want or as short as you want. I'm not talking, I mean, you want to spend all in service day, we could do that, but I think teachers would probably push back. They like that time. There's a point for those things to get stuff done. So, and this I know is probably not on their list. So. And it's just an idea. It may not be a good one, so.
Yeah, I think it's a balance of time. My own personal experience, because I work for the county, had to go through all of these. As a mental health director, I'm like, really, why do I need this? And we did a tabletop, and it was very valuable. Actually, the county learned from public health and mental health, hey, over here you might want to think, because we were never included, and then once we were included. So it's more like there might be other things that you may be missing that a tabletop exercise might bring out. And then
Right.
when there was actually, because we did it, the Galesville Dam broke, and so that we had to do it countywide, everybody had to participate, and it was very valuable because we all learned something about the language and what each other's role is. And then there was actually an incident, and it was interesting because then the county reached out and said, oh, wait a minute, public health, mental health, what could you do to help us? We need this. So it's just an opportunity, I think, to consider.
Yes. We did one when I was at Roseburg in my future life. We did one there with fire and police there. And the tabletop exercise was actually on the I-5. You have a chemical spill right near the high school. And so what do?
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Okay, so you remember. And one of the things I didn't think about was the ventilation into the HVAC system. So you find out these little things. But what's more important is that you network with your community and find out exactly, who to call at that point. So I did learn something that day for sure. So
And like you said, Ed, if you don't practice it, you forget it. And having a real incident is not the time to find out where you're lacking. So that's it. Tabletop exercises and doing the drills, yep, they're a pain. They are registered as a waste of time until you need it. And that is not the time to find out where your soft spots are, where you're lacking, and what holes you need to fill to get the job done more efficiently. So, yeah.
yeah, agreed.
Is there more you want to say?
No,
I had two one comment and then one question. Comment is I was thrilled to see that you're trained in CIT, so I'm really happy. That was part of a previous job. I helped support that whole process throughout the state, so I was really excited to see that. And then the second is more a question, I guess, for Robert and all of you. Just because we have seen an increase in level of earthquakes recently in California, and thinking about that here, that's actually, one of my, that was what came out in the tabletop we did, is that we realized how many bridges that there were that people would have to get over. And, and if they were counting on me as a director, most likely I wasn't going to be there, so who was going to be in charge, who was nearby, and that was all what came out in that exercise. So I'm also curious, because you mentioned about, if you have to shelter, is there a strategy if there isn't more than a day that kids would have to stay because you couldn't get access? So is there any contingencies? I just got some stuff from the Oregon Health Authority saying plan for 2 weeks to be able to shelter in place. So I don't know if there's a plan or a strategy for that.
Yeah, so we have, Brent could probably speak more to it on the EOP for that. I don't know, when you get into a scenario like that, I don't know if there's really any great plans. But we do have food in our freezers and in our kitchens, and Brent, I don't know if you want to add more to that.
That's really the highest point. Probably tracing exactly how long we do it. But we've got more than enough supply space. The only thing we're not
Did you finally get through all the World War II green peas? There was cans and scads and
Right.
please don't. I suffered through that enough in high school. Yeah.
So just like you talked about, Director Holland, if we do have a Cascadia event, it'll be our bridges that cause the biggest hurdle for us to reunite our families. Getting across Little River, and if people live on North Bank, it's going to be a challenge. And going that way, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that, the Green Bridge, yep.
Yeah, bridged in.
So,
Mhm.
yep.
No, you could become an island here fairly
Yes.
easy.
Yeah, so I think the district needs to purchase a North River jet boat for us to fish out of until we need that. Yes.
Call my
For
brother.
the fishing club.
Just call my.
There you go.
Just call my brother-in-law.
Perfect.
I think I like this plan.
We laugh about that, but in Roseburg, same thing, all the bridges and stuff, but we did talk about that we would have to tap into our resources of people that have boats. Yeah.
I learned so much from those exercises, and I learned that, that the National Guard has these temporary bridges that they could bring in, all of that stuff. So but it makes you think.
Yeah.
Correct.
Would that be a resource? Could we look at that? So
A lot of those temporary bridges, though, are low,
I know.
not
They're
spans crossing like we've got. So There'd have to be an alternative, but there's alternatives around. That and a bulldozer, and we can make
We
one.
get a hold of John, he brings his
Right.
equipment down.
Exactly, there's equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for the
Yeah.
robust discussion.
Thank you.
And your
Brent and
efforts
Ed,
too,
thank
and
you
what
guys.
you go through every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, on to less exciting things. We have the first reading already of policy GI, J, and KL. And I will entertain a motion to accept the first reading of policies GI, J, and KL as presented.
Now I move to accept first readings of policies G, I, J, and KL as presented.
I second.
All right, any discussion about any of those? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And I believe we are on to Superintendent Freeman report.
Thank you, Chair Atabey. I'm going to use Brent's line. The kids did a wonderful job explaining the culture and the events that are happening in the school district. And I really appreciate Miss Malik coming up and sharing her thoughts. I too share her sentiments. You walk around campus this year at the elementary school, at the high school, middle school, and you see kids that are happy, engaged, they want to be here. Honestly, I had no idea that the cheerleaders were going to kick us off for the sorting. I get down there and the cheerleaders are there and you just saw one cheer, but they were doing tumbling, and I'm sure you're aware that we have a huge junior cheer group in this. The girls were just going crazy in the audience. If you didn't pick up on it, after they went down the slide, they got their T-shirt and they were sorted in houses. And if their house was selected by the wheel, they stood up and they cheered and welcomed that person into their house. It was pretty cool. I don't know if we got video. It was this girl's first day at our campus. Very first day of school, brand new to our school, and Tammy did a great job of just letting her know what we were doing. First grader, cute as a button. And she goes, yeah, I'll do it. She skips up to the wheel, spins the wheel, does her thing, and she's just throwing her hands in the air. I'm thinking, first day of school for every child should be just like that. And it was just awesome. At the high school, I'm going to put a little plug in for Mr. Dwight. He's going to probably get embarrassed. The moment he was hired, the moment you hired him, he took the role of being our high school principal and being the face of our school district. He's engaged. He makes relationships with kids that are amazing. I've seen kids go all the way across the cafeteria to come over to say hi to him and give him a high five. He knows kids' names already. My second year, I don't know a lot of kids' names, so super impressed with that. But under his leadership, he has really changed the culture of the high school, middle school. I shared with you at our last meeting that one of the things that we wanted to do to meet the strategic plan of an all-inclusive culture was change the philosophy of we got you to we got you, and get past just consequencing kids for their behavior. But really finding out what's behind that behavior and helping kids have pride in something they belong to. And I've witnessed it every day. So the kids, Noah did a great job talking about all the events that are happening. I hope you picked up on the Camas burn. That's really cool. We're partnering with the Wolf Creek Job Corps. Their fire science program is coming down and helping with that. We have a person from the tribe who's doing an educational section on that. It's just unbelievable stuff happening in the school district. I want to continue to offer to you, and I know you're all extremely busy and, education isn't your day job, but if you could carve out a couple hours I would love to just take you on a tour. And I promise I won't even talk. I'll just put you in front of kids, take you into a classroom, let you see what's going on, and you can talk to people and see for your own eyes of what I'm talking about. And to me, that's the most powerful thing. You can listen to me talk about it all the time. You can listen to Abby talk about it, but for you to witness it and actually see it in action, I think you'll get a sense of things have definitely changed in the school district. That's my report.
Well, I will totally take you up on that offer. I would love the tour. And I'm grateful we have a rally squad and just hearing good things. It's awesome. Carolyn, hopefully, I can't remember. I feel like we maybe passed over you last meeting, or if you didn't have anything to
No
report.
problem. It's
Sorry.
I can handle it. I do just want to reiterate what Robert said. I really enjoy listening to the student reports. Noah and Nolan did an excellent job, and it just shows all the awesome things that are going on in at our school district. And finances are boring, but they are a necessary part. So you guys do have your report, and I'm just constantly reminding that this year especially, we're on a super tight budget, so we need to be real mindful about our spending. And we are halfway through our audit for this week. I've had the auditors and there are 2 people here this week, and it's been a busy week, and it continues to be.
So are you saying no boat? I kid. Sorry, go.
That's it. Just want to let you guys know what's going on.
May I put a little plug in for Carolyn?
Absolutely.
So Carolyn, first of all, you hired the right business manager. She, almost to the point where she makes herself sick worrying about making sure everything is accurate, and she does an amazing job on that. And I don't think she sleeps much this week because she's so worried about that audit and making sure everything's perfect. But you will hear from our auditors, and I'm confident that we're going to get a glowing report, and it's really directly related to Carolyn. So thank you for all your efforts. And I think next week, you'll probably sleep really well.
Yes, so thank you. We are grateful. Like, it's hard to run a school if you don't have finances. So thank you. And also self-care. Sleeping is, they tell me sleeping's important. Okay. Thank you both. So moving on to individual board member reports. Does anyone have anything they want to chime in and update us about? Yeah.
I got to come down, my nephew invited me to come down and see them painting the parking spots. I really want to reiterate, the atmosphere was so much fun, and they were having a great time, and I just wandered around and talked to some parents, and there was a lot of parents here participating, which was really cool. And taking pictures and telling about why that they chose what they chose, and so that was really neat. So huge, yeah, there was a lot of excitement there, and I also just want to express my appreciation for the response regarding the drone. I had the opportunity to talk to a couple students that were involved in that, and the communication to the parents and the way that was handled. In these times, I mean, it's worrisome. I mean, things are happening in this world, and so really appreciate, Superintendent Freeman, having this presentation, taking this seriously, and having plans. I have been impacted firsthand. I know what happened. I was intimately involved in the shooting that happened at UCC, and I've been talking to people about that. We're in this environment where it's not like it's a thing that happened somewhere else, and students I talk to are aware of that. And so I think it's just the more that we can do to create the knowing that we can't plan for everything, but at least saying, I love what you said, if it causes you're like, whoa, that isn't right, tell somebody, talk about it. And so we continue to create that culture in the school and with the staff. I think that's really important. So thank you. I really appreciate all of those efforts. And I think that I'm really excited to see the football game and homecoming, and
Me too.
Huge appreciation for the events. I know the students are really excited. I talked to several students in the high school are really excited about what's coming. So Thank you.
So I didn't catch it, but is it October 7th? There's some run going on? No,
Yeah, there,
I
yeah,
I thought it was on October 7th, but it wasn't I'm not thinking very well tonight. A memorial run or something like that? Yep. It was, okay, it was Maynard, yeah. On October 7th, right? Second. Okay. I know it's not normal to go over what's in the consent agenda. I just want to acknowledge that part of that was, and want to thank the people or persons responsible for a $300 gift for the Glide High School Choral Library. That's, you know, we do have funds and we do get grants. Tammy's a huge grant writer. You've won a lot, so that's a talent, definitely
It is a
appreciated.
talent.
But it bolsters our budget mix, just allows us to do other things. The community gives real well too. It's a very giving community for fundraising. But there seems like there's never enough, or even if we have enough, it entices us to do more. So, which is not a bad thing. But I just wanted to acknowledge that really helps us be a more solid school, and we're not, there's school districts out there already that are wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm really glad of this community, that be a part of this community that gives and gives more and supports and is good at running our finances. So, thank you.
Can I,
Oh, one more thing.
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. You too. Yeah, you too.
Nobody behind you.
Abby wouldn't be able to say what she was said without you two and you, sir. So thank you for making this place a positive, and not to leave you a safe place and fun place to be. School should be that way, in my opinion. So let the kids be kids and have a safe place to screw up and a place to rebound. So thank you for what you do.
Here, here.
Can I piggyback on?
Yeah.
So I realized I didn't know, I sent it to Tracy, but I get news feeds because of my crossover. And one of the things I didn't know, Robert, if you knew, is that the Jewel School District has like a lawsuit against, again,
The state.
OLCA. Wait, is it OL? Why do I get it always wrong? It's a timberman, going back to the timberman. And so it made it sound like they were looking, are other school districts going to engage in, it's a pretty big hefty price tag that they're looking at.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if there was any other details that you could share with us or, learn more about. So to your point, Tim, I mean, that has been one of the biggest challenges, is that, got all of this federal timberland right now that's burning, but we don't see that revenue in the school district from that for Glide or the county. And that has hit us so hard in so many areas. And so the Jewel School District, it sounds like they are trying to go at this again for the
Yeah.
revenue that the schools are not able to get because of all the timberland in their county. So anyway, I'll send it to you, and if you could look into it, it might be helpful.
Yeah, I've lost track of the ONC funds. They've gone back and forth, and I know it's a huge arm wrestling match, and I've forgotten, but that's something we can ask the commissioners
Yeah,
too. I know Commissioner Kress that's one of the things in his purview that he's trying to wrestle down.
You guys are just trying to get under my skin, aren't you? We gotta every day look at $1 billion worth of timber they threw away, and then ask the people for a bond measure. That's ridiculous. So, but regardless, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm going to
Make me a
send you
bad
this
man.
article.
But I will take you up on the tour, Robert. Just, it's been I've been a little bit busy, but it's going to be slowing down soon with the water coming. And I did like the idea of the number of kids that are going out for athletics and cheer and all that. Very encouraging. And it sounds like all the teams are doing well. I haven't got to get to any games yet, but that should come to a halt, and I should be able to make most of them here pretty soon. And thank you guys for doing a good job with these kids, and hope it just gets better and better. And thank you, Carolyn, for working all these numbers out.
All right, yeah, I echo everyone. I love that this year is looking pretty good. So I appreciate everyone's hard work on that.
Oh, one more thing. Janet, thank your mom for the treats.
Yes.
it's my sister Becky made them. My mom just delivered them. They were having the
Oh.
senior meeting, and so she brought them over to share.
Thank you, Becky. I don't think I have anything else except thank you for those that are still here. And let's go home. Thank you.